Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to 2 Chronicles chapter 8. It's a pretty short chapter, has maybe 18, 19 verses in it, and it talks a lot about Solomon and his other achievements and stuff like that. You know, he finishes the temple and he does, a lot of other achievements, builds up a couple of the cities and all of that. And it's taken me a couple days to do this study. Truthfully, it's just been bouncing around in my head, and I've just been meditating on it, and trying to hear what the Lord wants to say through this. And finally this morning I heard his voice on direction that he wants me to teach on this, and so I will. This is a wonderful, wonderful achievement for Solomon, and all that he did in his life, wonderful achievements. The Bible says that he was the richest man to ever live, and truthfully, by his riches, in today's standards, billionaires won't even touch what he had. He was very well off, and he was the wisest man to ever live as well. But for us, as we're looking at this and looking at what he builds, what he has built up, for us, we're taught to build the kingdom of heaven, and we are taught to lay up treasures in heaven and stuff like that. So I want to talk a little bit this morning about what are we laying up in heaven. I want to talk a little bit about how do we build the kingdom of heaven through us and stuff like that. And so we're going to take a look first at Matthew 6. We're going to do a lot of scripture today. Matthew 6. 19, 20, and 21. It says, this is Jesus speaking. He says, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So he's giving us a little lesson on where is our heart, and what we try to lay up in heaven will say a lot about what is in our heart. Now, there are treasures that we can get in heaven. Specifically, that I want to speak on are crowns. And building the kingdom of heaven is chasing after these crowns. And we can chase after these crowns. God wants us to chase after these crowns. Jesus tells us, our God tells us that, yes, you want to go after these things. I want you to build up these things in heaven. I want you to build up crowns in heaven. So, let's talk about them. There are I've located 5 crowns that God wants us to try and lay up in heaven. The first one is coming in 1 Corinthians 9, verses 24 and 25. It says, "Do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives a prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but wait for an imperishable crown." So the first treasure he wants you to lay up, the first crown, is an imperishable crown. And what he is speaking about, and the Apostle Paul uses a competition here as an example. He's speaking about endure. He's speaking about faithful endurance, that he wants you to be faithful to the end. He wants your faith to endure. You see, there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be things that come that shake you and shake your foundation. But he says, be faithful. Those that are faithful till the end and run their race, those will receive an imperishable crown. This is one of the treasures you can get in heaven. Another one is the crown of rejoicing. We're going to look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse number 19. It says, "For what is our hope or joy or crown of rejoicing?" You see, God does not want you to focus on things that are bad and things that divide and things that are evil, things that take your attention off the goodness of what he gives you. He does not want you to focus on things that take your attention away from his blessing. He wants you to rejoice in his blessings. He wants you to rejoice in the goodness of who he is, the goodness of the favor that he gives you. He wants us to rejoice. And for that, for those that can keep their eyes on the wonderful blessings that he gives us, he awards a crown of rejoicing. This is treasure that you can store up in heaven now. He wants you He wants you, me. He wants us to say, look at what the Lord has done. He wants us to share all of this goodness. with those around us. This is bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth, sharing the goodness of God. Next, we move on. 2 Timothy 4:8. He says, finally, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give me on that day, and not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing. We're going to talk about the loved his appearing in just a minute, but right now, this is the crown of righteousness. This is inherited only through Christ. We alone, we are not righteous, but this is inherited only through Christ. So this is depending on Christ. You see, this is a crown that is given to us on that day when we are dependent on Christ. When we say, I can't do this. Lord, I am not righteous. I am not pure. I do not belong in heaven. But through you, God, through you, Jesus, is my faith. In you is my righteousness. Please accept me into your kingdom. When we depend on God for righteousness, then we are awarded this crown of righteousness. And those who love and wait for his appearing, let's take a look at 1 Peter 5, verse 4. It says, and when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. Okay, this is for those who long and love and wait for his appearing. You receive a crown of glory. Those who just are so focused on God and just wait and want to see his kingdom come to earth, want to see his wonderful power come to earth, he awards a crown of glory. You can store this up in heaven. Long for his coming. Love for his coming. He is your God. You ought to want him to come. If you are thinking about God coming and you're going, oh no, I need to get things straight. Well, you're living wrong and you need to get things straight then now. You ought to love the fact that he can come any moment now. Love the fact that he can come any moment now. And the last crown that we're going to talk about, and I'm sorry it's a long video, but this has been stirred in me for a couple days. And last one, the crown of life. Revelation 2:10 says, do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. You see, we've all seen the movies where Christians are going to get their heads chopped off, and we've seen all these different things. And God wants us to just be faithful. You know, when you look back at all the apostles that were around Christ, just about all of them were martyred. Just about all of them were either crucified or stoned to death. They died serving Christ, you see. And there may come a day where you may be asked to die for your faith in Christ. God says, be faithful. For those that are faithful until death, which goes right back to the imperishable crown, those who have faithful endurance, I will give you the crown of life. You see, a crown is looked at in these ancient times as a badge of royalty. It could be a prize in public games, or it could be a symbol of honor. You see, you look at all of those crowns that Jesus is going to award us. And I want you to look at the one crown. Let's take a look at the one crown that Jesus took. When Jesus was on this earth, he took a crown. It was a crown built of thorns, okay? The crown that my Christ took, that my God took, he took a crown as a symbol of the pain for humanity and the sting of death. He took upon him so that we didn't have to. You see, John 3:16, one of the most quoted Bible verses there is. I'm going to go to it and I want to read it word for word to you. It is John 3:16. It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You see, God came and took the sting. He took that crown. He took the sting, the pain of humanity and the sting of death away. He took that away so that we don't have to. You see, you can lay up for yourself treasure in heaven, Or you can accept the crown, which is going to be the sting of death. You see, Jesus went ahead and took that sting of death for you, so that you can lay up treasure in heaven. Your choice now is, do I lay up treasure in heaven, or do I take the crown of thorns, take the sting of death, and spend eternity apart from Jesus, the one who created me, the one who just wanted to give me beautiful crowns of glory, beautiful crowns in heaven? Which one do you accept? Do you accept everlasting life or life apart from God? One of them is treated as a badge of royalty. The other one is eternal banishment from heaven. What do you choose? Have a super day. I love you all.